What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Mullet Man Podcast. That's what we're going to call it. We've done a few in the past. I think I did one with Jared a while back, but if y'all enjoy this, y'all leave it in the comments. Sorry, trying to get this all figured out. But if y'all enjoy it, we can do, I can have my dad over every week, or we can do a guest every now and then. But if y'all are new to the channel, this is my dad. Call him Mullet Singer. Y'all call him Mullet Singer. Y'all came up with that name. But today is a huge day for us in Mullet Man. So if y'all don't know, my dad is my business partner in the Mullet Man channel. And today is probably one of the biggest days of our channel, as I stated in the last video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But it is the official release date of our baits that we've been working so hard on. My dad's been doing all the back end work, as well as testing. He's been down at the coast for months and months and months testing these baits out, and I get down there when I can, go fishing with him. But let's just start out and kind of tell them how the bait company came about and what all it took to get everything going, and just so many things that we learned and are still learning. But you can go ahead and tell them how it came about and go from there.
Well, I guess you really came up with the original idea. Started talking about coming up with our own bait. We fish on the coast a lot. So I guess the first inkling was kind of made me a little nervous because this space, as far as just the coastal plastic baits are concerned, is pretty tight. There's a lot of competitors out there, a lot of products. I probably have a bag of every one that's in Tackle Town, at least I know, and we've tried them. But the more we fish, we catch ourselves talking to each other saying, this bait doesn't do this bait doesn't do that, or I wish, if we had a bait that did this or a bait that did that.
Or just tweaking baits.
Yeah, just tweaking baits, doing different things from, we're biting plastics, getting the length different sizes and things like that, just to get different action from it. And I think that's really where it started it. You kind of came up with the idea, and I thought, that's just going to be a really tough game for us. And the more we thought about it, talked about it, started talking to other people about it, obviously there's enough space because we did it. So we started chasing the rabbit, so to speak, something I always say when we're looking at different projects and, talking to people, and it started to make more and more sense for us. And that's kind of how it got started.
Yeah, so. I think we actually had this is like, I think this was before, maybe it was right when you got the baby cat or before you got the baby cat, and we were headed home from Rockport, and I was just like, man, we should come up with our own baits. Yeah. And it started that day, and I just started making phone calls, trying to find anybody I could. Starting from scratch and not knowing anything about the bait company or the bait world. There's so many things to learn and know. And I just dove head first and started calling people. So we found, I think the first step was my buddy Stu, actually. He put me in contact with a guy that makes crappie baits. And so I called that guy, and we talked and talked and talked, probably for about 2 weeks, until we found somebody that can make our molds. And then that took a couple weeks. That took months and months and months.
Actually, you had found some cheesy kind of molds off the internet.
Yeah,
I Amazon. So you bought a little starter kit.
Yeah, just to get an idea.
You were doing that and kind of waving at my face, saying, "Look, we can do this." And so it's kind of surprising to me. But what you see in the tackle store and what actually has to happen for that bait to get in a bag to be hanging on a rack in the tackle store is unbelievable. There's just so much to the sausage making, I should say, to get to that finished product. So we started drawing stuff out. We were at the cottage at the coast, and sitting at the table and
drawing on pen and paper.
He already had a few designs drawn out, pencil and paper, and we're we're taking stuff and I'm erasing this and saying, well, what about this? Or well, let's do it. And we started getting somewhere with it. And then I think the more we did that, the more we played with it, it really just kind of sinking in, going, yeah, we can really come up with a custom bait that'll work. And then it was a matter of talking to, the pros, talking to a lot of the guides that we know. And
yeah, we knew what we wanted, but
and I've got buddies that I grew up with, Joe Finley and Daryl Bezesny, Sean Bezesny, all these guys that they're hardcore wade fishermen that grew up on the coast with us. I grew up with them on the coast, and they sitting around a campfire with those guys talking about baits, and they had all their ideas, and it's like, wow, we can incorporate some of these ideas. And
yeah, they won't even touch
stuff,
cut bait or live bait. They strictly wade fish with artificial. They won't even touch a gulp. They like the all natural.
Yeah,
but
those guys are the hard. Well, a couple of them will cut bait too. They're kind of like us. They like to put fish in the box, but a few of them are kind of the I don't know, what do you call it, the
purist.
Hardcore, the purists that like and that really is what kind of intrigued us too, learning from them. So I grew up down on the coast, and with my grandfather, my dad, we're meat eaters and meat hunters, and we went out to catch fish. There wasn't really the sport of it like there is today as far as using artificials. We went out with popping cork and live shrimp or croakers or cut bait, and the goal was to put fish in the box to feed the family.
Yep.
And that's kind of where I came from. So, meeting these guys way back in the late 80s and stuff and 90s, and they were all into it. Rigo, Duke, Joe, Sean, all these guys were into the hardcore wade fishing side of it, and using the plastics. And so I kind of got intrigued by that, and they've all kind of been my mentors, and then you really kind of get hooked when you start going out there. We're still about putting fish in the box, and
don't get us wrong, we will throw cut bait. If that's all they're biting on. There's guys out there that go grind and catch one or two fish on a tough day on plastics, but if you can catch a limit on cut bait, we're going to be throwing cut bait.
Yeah, we're doing that too. But the sport side of it gets intriguing, because then it's a whole nother game. It's like, wow, you got different jig heads, you got different lines, you got different rods, you got different reels, you got all these different baits and stuff, and there's techniques. You got specific boats you use, wading gear, all this different stuff. So it really just consumes you. It's a lot of fun, and then to be able to get your skill level. I guess that's really the point I'm trying to make too. Is your skill level is quite a bit different than using cut bait or live bait.
Knowing when to throw it, where to throw it, what color to use, how fast to retrieve it. Reeling it in, bopping off the bottom. There's so much that goes into it. But back to us starting everything. I remember even downloading Fusion 360, which is like a three-dimensional. I get guys that use like CAD machines that do stuff. They use that to draw up stuff, and I was watching YouTube videos, just trying to get every bit of knowledge that we could to try to figure this out. And I think it's actually been right at a year, a little over a year, that we've been from that day that we were in the truck riding home from Rockport, and today's the day. So we are super pumped. Can't wait for y'all to try them. But this is a dream come true, so I hope you guys enjoy them. Our love for the coast grew very quickly. Like my dad said, he grew up on the coast and then moved into Central Texas, and he went back and forth every year. Y'all had y'all's little coastal tournament down in Galveston every year, but I never really was. We just never went down there a whole lot as a kid or anything, but I went a couple times with buddies, and bay fishing just wasn't a thing. We went offshore and went snapper fishing and stuff like that, but about 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago is when I started going down there consistently. And then just the last 2 to 3 years, it went from us staying in a hotel once a week to, all right, we can do this. Let's just Airbnb everything. It's cheaper than buying a house. And then it became our love for the coast became so aggressive. My parents decided to buy a place down there, and now it's a place that my family hangs out at least once a month. And then Haney Boats, we love those guys over there. They're awesome. Met Travis Wilcox, Dominic Sanchez. Travis Wilcox throw him a shout out. He, tell us a story about Travis, because I wasn't the first one to meet him.
No, I was at Seagun Bait Stand there in Lamar, right before you cross the Copano Bridge to go into Rockport. And asked, I think Gerald is his name. He's the bait master guy there, and just trying to get intel, like anybody does when you go to the bait stand. What are they biting? Where are they biting? And you never get the 100% story on that, but at least you get enough intel to help you out. And he started talking about Travis, and he says, "Man, you got to go out with this guy. He's this young guy, energetic. He puts people on the fish, and
didn't you go with his dad?
I went with Travis. You know what? No, I went with Travis first, and
and then he was booked up one day, and
he was
said,
booked up, and then he goes, "Hey, why don't you go with my dad?" So Mike Wilcox is also a guide down there. It's Travis' dad. So just me and his dad went and killed him. Of course, had a great time. And the funny thing about it is that was when I bought the baby cat, and I was on the boat with Mike.
Did he take you out on the baby cat?
No, so we were on his boat, and we were talking about getting tracks. And a lot of people don't realize the difference between like coastal fishing, especially on the Texas coast, and inland freshwater fishing. Down there it's shallow, and so these boats are specialized. They call them flats boats or shallow water boats, and you can walk for miles literally in waist deep water, and that's where the wade fishing comes in. But and there's these sandbars move around. There's channels. There's cuts. There's oyster reefs you got to watch out for.
Tear your boat up.
There's and especially down in this particular region. This is kind of the coastal bend area. There's tons of duck blinds. So it's public hunting. These guys put these duck blinds up. Well, hurricanes come through, blow the duck blinds up, and the posts are still in the water. And some of them are just below the surface. Some of them are maybe 6-8 inches above the water. But you got to know where they're at.
Flagged a bunch of them.
So I flagged them. But anyway, so Mike he makes a comment to me one day. I'm talking about getting the baby cat, getting safe tracks put on my GPS so I know where to go to avoid the oyster reefs and the posts and everything else. And he goes, a lot of guides down here, you can pay us and we'll put the tracks on the boat for you. And I think the comment he made was, he goes, "It'll be the best insurance policy you ever pay for your boat."
Yep.
And that just light bulb went off in my head, and I said, "You're on, man. Let's do this." So I don't think it was Mike. I think Travis.
He sent you to Travis.
Yeah, he sent me to Travis, and I paid Travis. I said, I just want to get safe. I'm not looking for fishing spots down there. Every spot's a fishing spot. You can fish everywhere, and but I need to know. I want safe tracks on my boat up in Mesquite Bay, Carlos Bay, San Antonio Bay, St. Charles Bay area, a lot of the San Jose Island area. Just that's where I'm going to be. And Travis was like, "Heck yeah, let's go on your boat and let's go fishing at the same time too." So he just totally open-minded, just fun-loving. We're going to put tracks on your boat, but we're going to catch some fish too. And that's really kind of where it started. And he. We even, I think, down Estes Flats tracks. We got so he put all these tracks. We would just run around all day, and again, that was the best insurance policy I could buy for that boat, and getting those tracks on there, and then obviously we were able to put them on your boat. So so now I know he's hauling butt in his Haney, that he's on the right tracks, and as long as he stays on those tracks, everything's good and good and safe.
So then, but after that, we kind of became friends with Travis. The first time I met him, we went on a casting blast, so it was during duck season. Went with him. He's just a super humble guy. If you don't know him, or if you do know him, if you know him, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know him, you need to book a trip with him. He's going to put you on the fish, and you're going to have fun doing it. Every time we go down there, I give him a call. "Hey, man, what's the fishing like? What's the weather like? What's the water doing?" And he will tell you straight up everything. "Yeah, dude, I'm catching them over here. Come over here. There's plenty for everybody." He's just that kind of guy. And then Dominic Sanchez, he actually messaged me on Instagram one day. We were sitting in a hotel. This is back when I had the This is back when I had the Mayak, and Dom had messaged me and said, "Hey, we're killing them over here in Nueces Bay." So we went with him, and that's how that relationship started, and we go with him all the time as well. They're both awesome guys. I'll link them in the description. If y'all are ever on the Texas coast, y'all can check them out and go fishing with them. If you're throwing artificials, they will be throwing Mullet Man Bait Co. artificials. So if you want to learn how to throw them, go check them out. And we're also going to be posting some how-to videos on how to work our baits, how they work best, and also get input from all the guides that we have using them, and showing y'all the best way to properly use our baits. But we can't wait for y'all to get these baits in, and we can't wait for y'all to have these baits in your hands. Be sure to send us however you can, DMs on Instagram. Send us all the pictures you can of fish that you've caught on them, or wearing the apparel. This shirt right here, y'all can get it at mulletman.net or mulletmanbaitco.com. They'll both be linked in the description. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just hanging out. We're going to do a lot more of these. Talking hunting, talking fishing, whatever y'all want to do. Y'all leave in the comments what y'all want to see. But until next time, y'all go check out mulletmanbaitco.com. Grab a few bags of baits. We will be at Tackletown on the 28th. That is Saturday.
Yeah, and it's from 11 to 1.
11 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
It's coming up Saturday, 11 to 1. He'll be in there.
He'll be there. So we'll have baits. Y'all come talk fishing. Tell me where all your honey holes are so I can go catch fish. And we'll see you there. Stay tuned, and remember, eat good.